We did an experiment many years ago, before ChatGPT actually, which was just our own internal prototype. We had a little robot that you use your phone to scan, put it on the ground, and then we utilized some local, probably now I'd say very rudimentary, but we used some local AI to then basically be able to answer some specific questions, but also enhance that with augmented reality. So having that robot, for example, was look up the address of some place, and it would then shoot a hologram up from its face of a map positioning of that business. And it was pretty cool to work with early on, but we didn't take that prototype then further because we just didn't quite see the application in what we were working on at the time. A lot of chatbots in the past obviously built with like workflows of follow a certain pathway, using little boxes to go down those pathways or using input to pick up which way to go. But we got involved very early on. We built out a tool that was utilizing augmented reality to place a large piece of manufacturing equipment. So say like an office printer, being able to take your phone, place that office equipment down in your space, make sure it actually fits. And then we utilized AI that was trained on that specific product to then answer any questions that a user might have to help facilitate the sale from the start to the actual process. We come in with businesses who think they need or know they need AI, but don't know where to begin, and help either build out a strategy, a roadmap, sort of trying to find, here's the opportunities that you have to hand, and then let's present those and quote on effectively, can we implement those for you? Or it might be, hey, we can hand those off to your dev team and they can get involved. And then alongside the implementation, we also do training and workshops. So basically helping leadership teams understand where AI fits and educating them on what it can do. The thing is the market's always evolving. People are coming out with new products and there's just so many things to try and keep up with. And it can be difficult at times to just stay ahead of where all the information's at and what platforms are out there to do certain things.
It's hard, especially when you don't know the domain or the area that you're trying to work in. If you have a cursory level understanding of a specific industry, then what it tells you, you can then fact check yourself almost to a degree. At least you'll get the gut feeling to know, this is right or wrong. If I was to start talking about brain surgery and going into it, it could rattle off any scientific sounding term, and I think that's a real part of the brain or the body, and I wouldn't even know. It's, like you said, fact checking it, but also getting it to check itself and say, all right, verify what you're doing. Is this correct? And then on the second time, it might change and say, no, this was wrong, or give it to one of the other models and get them to compete against each other.
A lot of the times, the automation is to cut out pieces where people were going to do manual work. So one example is we have a client that has a company that's referring clients into them, and a lot of that work can be done without actually having a conversation, but their current workflow is just we will have a conversation because they have no other way to facilitate. And so what we're doing is we've built out a pipeline that brings out the more valued customers and sends them in for a conversation. And then for the other ones, be able to still facilitate them and get the right information to them. But basically allowing them to take the conversations with those that are more valuable and then still actually take on the other clients without having to have conversations. So it allows them to spend their time really on the areas and the clients that matter more to them. The word AI and what AI is seen to be able to do now has brought out the word of automation. And I think it's such an interesting change that there's things that I'm doing now that companies are like, oh, wow, can we do that? That could have been done 10 years ago. And it's just this whole revolution of AI is now coming out with, oh, there's actually this thing called process automation. And it's really interesting to me.
It's blank page syndrome. That's what people have been calling that term. It's you struggle with an empty page. Once you can get something going, it's much easier to work with.
Honestly, the ChatGPT front is a great starting point. So if you're not using ChatGPT, definitely jump in and give it a try and see if you can utilize it for your business, even starting out with pretty basic pieces like writing emails, pulling content together for a document. It's definitely a great starting point. And then when you're looking to effectively take things a step further and actually automate pieces in your company, an easy starting point is a make.com, and that is a pretty simple, not too crazy system to work through. Definitely there's lots of tutorials on like YouTube, or you can ask ChatGPT and sometimes it can give the answer. They're really the two starting points from my mind. Is jumping into ChatGPT is a great one for just general AI, and then make.com is a great one for automation. You can then jump into a whole other range of AI tools that are out there.